What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and I know. It's been a while, but hey, it's been crazy. I mean, seriously, it's been crazy. I mean, think about it. When was the last time that you ever saw anything like this? I mean, seriously, when was the last time anybody living saw anything like this? Hey, if it's your first time here, glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back and thanks for watching more videos. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. And remember, you know the drill. Leave me the comments. And you know how I love interacting with you guys down in the comment section. And hey, we'll maybe strike up some awesome conversation and have something to do. Because the fact of the matter is right now, when it comes to sports, there really isn't a whole lot to talk about, and there really isn't a whole lot to do other than review a whole lot of old information or really go over free agency for the NFL. And that's really about it right now. I mean, if you want to get into video games and that, I mean, there's that. There's definitely professional wrestling. I enjoy a bit of it, but there's that. But the reality is there is no sports. I'm telling you, there's no sports. I don't think there's a person alive that can remember a time when there was literally zero sports. All sports had been canceled. I mean, it's like it's a fairy tale book or something. I mean, think about that. You know, it's like something out of just like the bad start out of a plot of like a bad apocalyptic book or movie or something. I mean, it's just nuts and it's just crazy. But that's the world what we live in today. And so that's what we have. But hopefully you've been taking some time. Hopefully you've been just kind of, I mean, the reality is that we're all stuck in our homes. We're all stuck with pretty much just doing what we've got around us. And so hopefully you've really been taking the time to really take inventory of your life and really try to figure out and make the best of it. I hope you're taking action in your life. What do I mean by taking action? Well, what I mean is that taking just life, by the horns and doing stuff now, and just rising above with all of that's going on, and everything, that's just what we have today. So hopefully, I just encourage you that that right now that you just take time to assess things and then just start doing things. Now, as part of doing things, I just encourage you to spend some time with your family. It's really been a neat time for me. I've been able to spend more time just with my own personal family, and it's actually been fun to just hang out, goof around, and just not have to worry about all the hustle and bustle, running around doing all this and that, and just have fun with one another. So I hope that you can take some time and evaluate your life, figure out where you're going, and then do what you love, or set yourself up to do what you love. And the second thing is that also make time for the most important things in your life. Like I said, your family. Because hopefully in all of this, hopefully at the end of it, hopefully it at least, and hopefully the best will be that, it was an opportunity for you to, to really just take your life to a better place than where it is right now. And listen, on that note and that thing, my prayers and my thoughts go out to each and every one of you out there. Hopefully you continue to pray. Thank you for keeping me and my family in your prayers. We're doing all right. And just continue to pray for just everyone across the world, and and hopefully soon we'll get some semblance of normalcy back again. I don't know. I think we've entered into a different world, and definitely a different time. I think unfortunately it's sad, but I think that a lot of things are going to be dated by this and by these events. So make the most of them. Now, And speaking of making the most of them and having fun, I got a lot of you guys out there telling me that I need to do some reaction videos. So I'm going to start off easy. Now, I will say I did one reaction video in the live stream that I had last week, and you guys seem to enjoy it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the haters. Why not? I mean, and they've got some videos that I haven't seen. So these videos I have not seen at all. And so I'm going to start off with one today, and then I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to watch it. I'll give you my live reactions as they're happening, and then I will go through and give my thoughts, and that'll be the video for today. So I've got these earbuds so that I can put them in, I can listen to it, and none of it will get on my video, so they don't have to worry about any copyright stuff or anything like that. If you want to follow along, I've got the link to the video down in the description. So you can go ahead and tune that up. If you want to pause the video right now and tune that up, you're more than welcome to. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give my thoughts on this kind of the whole thing, this video. So we're going to go dive into this video. Now, this video is the XFL committed to playing season in 2021. And this is, of course, by our NBC Sports, and this is Pro Football Talk. And this is our old buddy Mike Florio, and he's got Michael David Smith with him, and they're discussing the future of the XFL. All right, so if you want to follow along, I am hitting play. Already talking about us here. Just getting worse for the XFL. All right. Reality's settling in. All right. Okay, it's bad money now. The XFL's bad money. You heard it, Mike Florio. I think that Vince does enjoy doing this. Listen, he's not a guy that's just a short-term commit here. This is not the AAF. Don't mistake it for that. If you watch Florio here, he's just waiting to respond. He's not really taking this in. Look at the expression on his face. He almost looks like he's asleep. He hasn't moved. Wow. Maybe he's stuck? No, he's moving. It's almost like he's asleep. Or maybe he's taking notes. Oh, Vince definitely wants to do this. Well, duh. They've already said they're going to. Now, this video is 2 weeks ago. Decent number of eyeballs. Hey, thank you, Florio. That's too many teams in LA. St. Louis, you guys are more about your football, not just the scoring thing. You guys love your football. I give you more credit than that. Okay, so they're going to put another team in LA, like another team in California. I don't get it. All right. Now, they were starting to open up upper bowls, and if you remember, they were limiting the seats in St. Louis. Wow, Florio enjoying the game. Wow, I'll take that. Oh, Hey, Florio. I think we're getting to him a little bit. What do you think? Oh, the inventor of it. All right, Florio invented the overtime in the XFL. Did not know that. Did you know that? That Florio invented the overtime. All right. Yeah, PJ's gone already. We'll look at that video next. He says it'll be back. Well, duh, it's going to be back. They've got the money. They didn't necessarily say that they were going to do that. They didn't say they were going to just sign college football players and all this and that. That if they felt like that they were good guys, that they were going to do that. I mean, he's talking about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, they're not going to get guys like that. Yeah, that's not going to happen. We might see some of those guys next year that are those, $100,000 guys or whatever that he's talking about. Yeah, he's off with his thoughts on this. Yeah. First round picks in a year. Again, back to the developmental league. Establish itself as a developmental league. That's not what the XFL wants. That's not what they're doing either. Okay, so they're saying that I don't know. That's an interesting thought. The college putting pressure on ABC and Fox because they would be stealing their players. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay. So the video. Let's take these out. I hate wearing headphones while I'm trying to talk. So the video, not terrible. Florio. Listen, he has hurt us, and I can tell week in and week out the way that he went through this and the way that he's saying it. It cracks me up. He's a guy who's, trying to play this, oh, I'm not this hater and that, and people, those apologetic, XFL fans, call me out, be hater, this and that, blah, 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 this. Listen, man, I call him as I see him, and I definitely saw what you were being, and now you're backtracking. Just like most other, large media pundits out there, when you get a little heat, you start to back off. And that's just a lot of your guys' game. That's how you play. That's how you do it. You feel the waters. You test the waters. You put the stuff out there. And, yeah. And the only time you really take a stand is when it's in a group. And when all of you unite together, you guys lock arms, and you're just going to go to battle together, and you've just stuck all your heads in the sand, and that's just where you're going to stay. And listen, that's what you did, Florio. And the fans got to you. And listen, I do appreciate you saying that you liked watching the XFL, and it was football on TV, and you like watching football. I appreciate that, Florio. Listen, I'm a guy who loves football. The more football I can get, the better. And I thought the XFL was great football. It seemed to be that you liked it. I guess I did not know, though, that you were the inventor of the XFL overtime. Did not know that. Hopefully, maybe you guys knew that. I did not know that he invented that. And hats off to you. And you did bring up a good point, the fact that, we did not get to see one. I really wanted to see an overtime game. That would have been fun. A shootout like that would have been amazing. To have a shootout in football, oh, man, that just takes that just up there for me. I mean, the excitement in that is just, it truly would make some of these games more classic than what they already are. Now, let's go ahead and let's talk about a few of the things that they were talking about towards the end. Now, I will say that this video is from a couple weeks ago, so we've already had PJ Walker and some of the other guys sign out. I will say that it's going to be really interesting to see how the XFL moves and shakes and changes with this stuff. Now, PJ Walker could be cut by the time that that the time comes to where the XFL are having the players, report and things like that, to where they could pick him back up again, and that they very well might be able to do that with him signing that $150,000 signing bonus. I don't think that that's going to happen. But the interesting part of this is where are they, how are they going to pick up that next stock of stars? And the other concern is how are they going to keep stars? I do not agree with, what's his name? Michael David Smith. Listen, the XFL isn't trying to position itself as some developmental league. If you're thinking that way, then you're mistaken, and you have not spent enough time around Vince McMahon or really looked into who Vince McMahon is and what he does. Now, there are those of you out there that we can disagree about Vince McMahon, and we can call one another this or that, or that we love Vince McMahon or not. But the fact of the matter is Vince McMahon is a man that does not play for second fiddle. He does not play for the crumbs from the table. The man plays for keeps. He plays for first place, and he only plays to win. He is like Ricky Bobby. I'm telling you, if you ain't first, you're last, and that is Vince McMahon, and that is his world. He does not play like the AAF does. He does not want to be some sideshow league. Will he play that fiddle if he needs to? Yes. And he will continue to grow his business. He will continue to build his empire. And before you know it, you have this juggernaut that you cannot stop, that he has built. And they're building it around great football and their own brand of football. Like I've said before, it's going to be hard for me to watch college football next year, especially pro football next year. After I've been watching the XFL and how fast the game play is, how just integrated that they really made the whole process of the game, whether it be the refs, getting to see inside how the refs are calling the plays, their interactions with one another, the decisions, why they're making the decisions they are, or listening to the coaches and the decisions that the coaches are making. We're seeing not only the game on the field, but the game inside of the game. And so it's always keeping your interest, even when the game isn't playing, even between the plays. And listen, they also continued on the play. I mean, in the last 2 minutes, there was a lot of action happening in the XFL. And so as I look at this, the XFL has changed the game of football, I think, for the better. And I would not be surprised if here in a couple years you don't see their style kickoff in the NFL and in college. It worked that well and that good. The only thing with it is that it did start the ball a little bit further ahead than what you normally see. Normally you see the ball starting somewhere around the 20, 25-yard line, depending upon, college, pro. And this is going to probably move that up to more around the 30-ish yard, 30, 35-yard line, somewhere around there, depending upon, with the college, you might get a little bit more out of it just because of, the range of talent. The more talented guys will be able to get a few more yards. So, it would be interesting to see how that does. But regardless, XFL has changed the game of football. I truly feel for forever. And them talking about coming back in 2021. Listen, they've already committed to it. They're going to do it. McMahon has already invested the money into the company. It's a company that he put his own money into. This is not the WWE. This has no ties to WWE. It's Alpha Entertainment. That's what it is. That's who owns the XFL now. The XFL was sold from WWE to Alpha Entertainment, so they have no ties whatsoever to the WWE. So they're their own entity. So they're going to go through and they're going to have this second season. The interesting thing for me is how they're going to do that. I really am curious to see how that whole process is going to, take on itself in that with it. With everything that's going on right now, I would imagine that they're probably holding off to see how the landscape looks after whenever what's going on in the world ends. Then, and things start to get back to a little bit of normal. We'll start to see stuff come out from the XFL. But right now, it's like everything else. We're in a waiting period and a holding period with that. I don't agree with Florio. Florio, has this idea that, that they were just going to get bombarded and hit and, that their ratings were going to tank. Listen, I know that March Madness was going to come and that everything takes a hit with March Madness. Yes, they were going to take a hit with some of the stuff with March Madness. It was. But remember, March Madness is only a couple week short period of time that wasn't going to take a whole lot from them. And the other thing is that they were in the part of the season where we're starting to show the games on FS2 and ESPN2 and things like that, to where it wasn't on the flagships, but they're still were in the top programs of the week in sports. I mean, they're still leading the way in sports with viewership. And again, these are with nobodies. They literally have a whole bunch of guys, and they made stars. They made PJ Walker, Cam Phillips. Now, granted, yes, the guys came and they played on the field and they played well. But these guys, before they got on the XFL field, they were nobodies. Parham, nobody. I mean, you just go down the list. And these guys, Jordan Atamu. And again, I know you guys are going to give me crap for saying the name, but whatever. All of those guys, if it weren't for the opportunity in the XFL, they wouldn't have the deals that they have in the NFL, and, they wouldn't have been able to make a star for themselves and a name for themselves. And the XFL provided that for them. Now, the whole thing about the college football players at the end, I don't know. Listen, a lot of these guys who are studs as freshmen and sophomores, if the XFL starts throwing money at them, that's one thing. But it doesn't look like the XFL is going to be really just throwing money like that at the players, and I don't think that that's a really good investment for them right now as it is. If you remember and you look back at the USFL, yes, they did that, and they got some really good players, but they also got themselves in some ridiculous financial trouble. Go look it up. They had a lot of guys that were spending a lot of money, and they couldn't sustain it. And they had a lot of owners that were bowing out and a lot of different things of that nature. You're not going to see that with the XFL. But the XFL here's the problem. All of these guys are thinking with blinders on, and they're not viewing this as what McMahon views it. McMahon views this as a long-haul, long-term investment. This is not a quick get-rich type of a thing where he's looking that this is going to become a rival with the NFL in 2-3 years, and if it's not, it's just going to become a developmental league, and that's where we're going to position ourselves. The guys that are looking like that are not guys that are running businesses, and we're talking about journalists. These are guys that they're into journalism. They're not businessmen. They don't run businesses. They don't understand. They don't realize or look at the business side of things with that. They are journalists. They focus on whatever it is their sport, their football. They're not looking at the finances of football, how football's run, how to make money in football. They're just looking at how to put a good product on the field and that with it. And yes, there's a lot to say for that, and I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that they've got tunnel vision in what they're thinking and every way that everybody else has tried it before. Now, the way that McMahon tried it before was he figured he could make some and listen, it was a product of the times. He was trying to mesh football and the WWE together and make this kind of pseudo brand type of a thing. And it's different now. He's trying to make a legitimate, a very credible football league, and I think he's done that. And I think that they're going to be successful next year. I think that you're going to see more guys like Kenny Robinson Jr. This year who are going to opt out of playing possibly their junior, their senior years. You're not going to see those up-and-coming freshmen and sophomores. Listen, their minds are still focused on, and their coaches are going to keep their minds focused on, listen, you keep doing what you're doing, your first rounder, millions of dollars, first rounder, millions of dollars. And so a contract that's, even $500,000, which is a lot of money, is not going to look that enticing to these guys because they're getting in their head first rounder, millions of dollars. And the other thing is guys talking about second tier guys that aren't first rounders. Listen, your second and third round guys aren't necessarily second tier guys. A lot of those are top tier guys that just happen to get drafted in the second, third round. And once they prove themselves, they'll be making bank in the NFL. So don't look at it that way. But, for them to talk about like throwing $10 million at Trevor Lawrence, again, they're not businessmen. They are guys who have been around football for a long time, and I will give them that. But neither one of them are running successful businesses on a large scale like that. They aren't. And again, McMahon is looking down the road on creating a product that is going to withstand the time, and this is just the stepping stones to something great. It's just like opening up your first business and working up your level and getting to this chain, and before you know it, you've got stores all around the country. You can name all of the different, corporations and places like that. That's what he's doing here. Like what he's done with the WWE. He went from a regional powerhouse back in the 80s when he took over the company, and to where now he pretty much owns just about any promotion that he wants. He's finally getting some competition back with the AEW, but he's pretty much created literally a wrestling universe that nobody ever thought of before, and nobody else has ever figured out how to run. And so, when you're dealing with a guy like that, it's just a different mindset. And he has a different mindset about things with it. The video wasn't as bad as what I thought it would be. I still think that Florio is a hater. Don't get me wrong there. I mean, he tries to sugarcoat it and, trying not to get hate mail from all the XFL fans or, more downvotes. I mean, it's pretty sad when you've got 76 upvotes and 78 downvotes, and it's been viewed almost 7,000 times. I mean, come on, man. That just shows you, just where you sit and what people think, about it. So, I don't know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the reaction video. Hopefully you liked it. If you liked it, I'll do some more stuff like that. I apologize for not getting content out. I've been spending time with family and enjoying kind of getting back to some more of the other things that I've been doing. If you do want to pay attention to it and you do want it, I'm going to be starting to post some more music, side of things, and that some of you guys do know that that my one of my other jobs that I do is I'm a worship leader at my church, and so I'll be doing some more stuff, getting back into really my first love, music. My first love, being my Savior, and then really being able to worship him and lift his name up in praise is really, doing that is really my first love. So I'll be doing some videos on that on my other channel. So you'll be seeing content from me here and there. I'll be doing like some of these reaction videos. So hopefully you guys liked it. Let me know down in the comment section what you think and give me your thoughts. All right, guys, I know that you're busy. I know that I'm busy. So let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.